6 years ago, deep into the forest, I thought I'd stumbled upon something rare. It felt different, unusual and almost magical. And I'm heading back to see if I can find it again, and if I can, does it still feel the same? If you're looking to grab yourself a travel guidebook for Scotland, Denmark or the insane country of Norway, you can save yourself 20% off using the code that's in the description. You can also get yourself a free NC500 map pack add-on in the Campervan Life app if you join the app using the link that's also in the description. As a YouTube channel that does no sponsored videos and no paid product reviews, the revenue from both of these directly fund the creation of all of these YouTube videos, which would not be possible without your incredible support. A few years ago, me and Gaz, a good friend of mine, headed into Kielder Forest. And we didn't do the touristy bits or any of the rest of it. We headed on the sort of logging trails deep into the forest to see if we could find anywhere unusual to photograph some clothing for an outdoor clothing brand that I own called Hemlock Outdoor. Now what we found when we stumbled into the forest, when we went exploring, was somewhere that I've never seen before. I've never seen anything like this before. It was incredible. It was dark, mysterious. It was like magical feeling. So what I thought when I found the photos the other day was, why don't I shoot a video where I head back to them spots to see if I can find them again, and if I can find them, to see if they still look the same as what they did, and if they do, then I can show you guys. So we're here in Kielder, we're just arriving now. The reservoir should be revealed in just a moment, and we're going to stay here for one night. We're going to explore, but first, before we do that and we head at the park up, I'll take you down there and I'll show you what Kielder Reservoir looks like for anyone that hasn't been here before, because it's a very beautiful place. It's big, but it's beautiful. Absolutely frozen down this end of the reservoir because of the wind, and today is no exception. But there is a car park on the other side as well, so if you want to drive across and head to the other side, and there's a nice trail and stuff up that way, but obviously I'll park there for the time being. I am heading up now to Elfkirk Viewpoint, which is where we're staying. It's about 2 or 3 miles further up the road. Cool spot, definitely worth staying overnight. There's not a phone signal generally anywhere in Kielder though, so bear that in mind if you haven't got Starlink or anything. But yeah, I'm going to get back in the van because I'm no more ready. It's always a lovely view from the top of here. So this is icy, but this is Elfkirk Viewpoint. And if you're ever staying at the bottom, come up on a night when it's dark, if it's a clear sky, the stars, everything are incredible from up here. Very nice. So, Van's parked. They've actually added Ring Go, so you can pay for it on your phone, which is much better, because previously it was an absolute nightmare to pay for any parking here because the machines were always off and they just didn't work. So obviously there isn't a signal though, so if you haven't got Starlink or something, good luck trying to get one. But either way, I've sorted that out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a wrap. I've got like bacon and egg. I'm going to make a bacon and egg wrap, and then we'll crack on after that. That was the path that I needed, really, which is not ideal because it's completely impassable. There's no way I can get through there. There's years and years and years worth of storms damage. There's just trees, not here, but from there onwards it's just completely full of trees that have fell over. So I'll follow the track further up and see if I can get closer. It is starting to get darker though. There's a lot of dark clouds coming, so hopefully there's not any bad snow or anything while I'm up here. Anyway, we'll see. This is it, I found it. The moss is a little bit less, or a little bit shorter than it was last time I came. It was hanging off everything so far, it was so thick. Maybe it was a little bit further in because it does go quite far back, as far as you can see really. It goes all the way in there. But everything's like just super brittle and dead. I don't know if like the moss sort of strangles everything or what. It's got like lichen and stuff on it. Strange place. I've never really seen anything like this before till we came here. I didn't know if I was going to find it, but you can see like just the faintest of touches, which is why you can see presumably the trees that we walked past, or I tried to get past anyway, were just all over and fallen and snapped, because everything just feels dead in here. So strange. And there's no noise, there's no sound. You can hear just a little bit of wind and these trees touching at the top. Other than that, nothing. Eerie place. And then even the floor is just like weird alien, like just humps and bumps, and I'm guessing it's roots or something that's underneath from past dead trees maybe. Such a strange feeling place, really is. So I'm 10 foot off the track that I walked up, ironically. I walked for probably 2 miles each way, there or thereabouts, to find the secret mossy forest. And then there's this, which, as you can see, is just as dead, just as moss covered. And in fact, as I walk down, there's loads of bits like this. It's pretty much all like this, in fact. All you need to do is go a couple of layers back in tall enough trees and everything's covered in this stuff. You've got the same like alien lumps and bumps on the floor, the same dangling moss off everything. Everything's just brittle, broken. And I'm not sure if I'm being a bit of an idiot and I've missed something very obvious. I'm sure you will let us know in the comments. But I don't know what causes this. I'll have to do a bit of research when I get back to the van. I'm going to cook some like tea in that first, but then I'm going to do a bit of research and figure out what on earth this is. It's everywhere. I mean, all of this has just been like, this is all fallen over. This is some huge tree roots and stuff just there. Very strange. Mid-January, well, early January, and I'm still shocked at how fast it gets dark. And I'm in Keeler and it's renowned for its dark skies, but still, it got dark very, very quick outside. I'm going to make a nice chicken katsu curry, and I understand people will be like, what's a curry? That's just how we say it. I'm from Sunderland, we call it a curry, and everywhere else calls it a curry, and then that's spelt curry, but we call it a curry. So, yeah. And then actually I'm going to do a bit of research because I have no idea why the forest is covered in moss like that. It makes no sense to me. So I'm going to do a bit of research to try and figure that out. But first, let's get the food on the go because it takes a while. It's a bit faffy and all, but it's nice. So while that cracks on, I'll explain and read out what I've found, because as it turns out, what I thought I knew about Kielder was completely and utterly wrong. So, Kielder Forest is the largest man-made forest in the UK, covering roughly 250 square miles. It's not a natural forest, but a commercial forestry plantation. Most of the forest was planted in the early to mid 20th century, particularly after the First World War, when Britain needed to secure a long-term supply of timber. Before this is the key bit that I definitely didn't know, the area was largely an open moorland and rough farmland. It was not a dense woodland. I don't know why, but I just presumed that, yes, I understood that they use it for trees to cut them down, but I didn't realise that there wouldn't have been a forest there before this was put here, basically. So the forest was designed for efficiency. Trees were planted in straight lines and often in dense blocks, using a limited number of fast-growing species. Many areas were planted at the same time so they could be harvested together, which makes management easier, but results in very little natural variation. I suppose that's why the trees are so insanely close together, and I don't know why I didn't really put two and two together where they're in straight lines as well. Kielder water, which again I didn't know this either, Kielder water was created later between the 70s and 80s by flooding a valley to form a reservoir. No idea. I did not know that at all. Its purpose is to supply water to the northeast of England and industry further south, adding another engineered element to the landscape. Makes sense, but I honestly didn't realise that they just created the reservoir as well. It's just so big, I just presumed it was natural. And then the final bit, which is about the mossy stuff, which is really interesting. But the mossy forest floor is a direct result of how the plantation is structured. With trees planted close together, very little light reaches the ground. There's minimal understory and limited plant diversity. In these conditions, moss thrives and becomes dominant, covering the ground and old root systems left behind after previous felling. So the moss is not a sign of ancient woodland or untouched nature, it's a byproduct of dense, uniform plantation where most other plant life struggles to grow. Well, there you have it. I clearly knew absolutely nothing about that. I genuinely thought I'd stumbled upon some sort of hidden gem, and as it turns out, it's because what we've created is basically a green desert. I'll go out there to say that. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it kind of seems to be, where there's trees and now else. A bit like a desert where there's sand and now else. I don't know if it's anything like a desert, but you get what I'm trying to say. So there you have it. There was nothing special about what I found. It just basically meant that it was dead.
6 years ago, I thought I'd found something rare. That dim, silent moss, it felt like magic. And as it turns out, it wasn't actually rare at all. It was just part of something much bigger. A byproduct of human design, of repetition, of function. But yet, in losing that idea, I think I've found something else. A new appreciation for light that reaches the ground, for sound that you can hear from every direction, of life that's laid on top of other life. And it wasn't actually hours away either. It was all here on my doorstep. This is a small woodland and it loops around a pond not far from where I live. There's ducks, there's dog walkers, there's chaotic knots of trees that are intertwined, but it's beautiful, it's natural. And thanks to the forest, I've actually learned to appreciate this woodland even more. And don't get me wrong, I'll still go to places like Kielder for the scale, for the quiet, the life that's learned to exist there. But I always think I'll be drawn back to appreciating places like this more. Not because one of them is better than the other, but because they're shaped by two different things. One happens to be a man-made grade, but it looks like my vision of what wild looks like. And the other one is so close to home that I never realised how wild it actually was. So maybe the real change is in me, and it's to know how to see and appreciate both of them for what they are,